Hey ladies, how's it going? Sandrine here. Today's training will be on the fundamental of weight loss, health, and fitness. We're having this training because I know there's so many information out there on numerous diets, numerous things that you should be doing if you want to lose weight, if you want to feel better, but also things you should avoid. So it's hard sometimes to know what you should be focusing on, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. So that's why today we're going to be talking about the fundamentals, but I'm also going to give you my method that I'm using to make women lose weight, feel healthy, feel confident in their body, and make sure they are improving their fitness and performance. So what I want you to understand is that we have that 20-80% rule, which means that 20% of the things that you are focusing on will actually bring you 80% of the result, which means that you don't need to do everything it says on social media. You don't need to do 100% all the time perfectly. Only 20% of what you are concentrating on will bring you 80% of the result. But it also means that 80% of what you might be concentrating on right now, what you might be focusing on, is only bringing you 20% of the results. So that might be why you're only having slower progress, or you might just not be focusing on the right thing. So that's why we're talking about fundamentals today. Weight loss, I'm going to be explaining to you exactly how it works right now, just to give us some insight basically before we get started. If you want to put it into its simplest form, weight loss is all about math. So it's basically calories in versus calories out. You need to burn more calories than what you are eating, but it doesn't really work that way all the time. Unfortunately, a lot of diets that you're going to see, they're going to be 500 calories, 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories diet. This is too low. This is not enough calories, because you also have something that's called your basal metabolism. Your basal metabolism is what makes sure that your body is functioning properly, which means it's the number of calories that you still need every day to make sure everything in your body function optimal. If you're not reaching the amount of calorie that your basal metabolism needs, you're probably going to lose weight throughout the first couple of weeks. You're going to lose a lot of muscle mass, a lot of water as well. But then eventually you're going to plateau, or you're going to end up basically gaining the weight back on. So you have to be careful with just doing calories in versus calorie out. This is not the only process that you have to be careful. Okay. If you want to lose 1 pound of fat, you also need 3,500 calorie deficit, which means you're not going to do it in one day. If you want to make sure you're not screwing up with your metabolism, you can do it throughout, let's say, the whole week, and that would end up with a 500 calorie deficit, which is more reasonable. So that's usually the way you can do the math, basically, to make sure you are in a calorie deficit, but you're still over your basal metabolism. Can you gain muscle mass even if you are in a calorie deficit? Yes, you can. So there's something that's called body recomposition. So you can still gain muscle mass and lose body fat. But if you are gaining weight, it's because you are not in calorie deficit, because everything is about balance with your weight. If you're eating the same amount of calorie that you are expending, your weight is going to stay stable. But if you are eating more calories than what you are expending, then you will be putting up some weight. If it's only muscle mass, then it might not be an issue. But if you are putting on some weight and it comes from fat, then you know you are not in a calorie deficit. Okay, so you can gain muscle mass even in a calorie deficit, but your weight should not increase if you are in a calorie deficit. Health is also pretty important, because we're talking about calories in, calories out. You could technically only eat junk food, be in a calorie deficit, and lose weight. But the thing is, you're not going to feel at your best. You're probably going to feel exhausted all the time. You're probably going to have tons of craving. You're probably not going to be able to perform properly. So that's why health also matters. So what you put into your nutrition, what you put into your body also matters. So it's important to learn to fuel your body properly, to make sure that you're going to have more energy, you're going to feel better, you're going to have less craving, and you're just going to create overall healthier lifestyle habit. So we're going to get into my method. So what I'm using actually to help women lose weight, to help them improve their health, their fitness, and basically what are the fundamentals that will give you the most result. First of all, you're probably not going to be really surprised to see nutrition and exercise out there, okay? Because they are two of the most important fundamental that you can have. So looking at your calories in, but also all of your macronutrients. So protein, carbs, fat, and making sure that they are there to fuel your body, so you're not having too much protein, too much carb, too much fat, but they are all important. So every diet that tells you to cut your carbs, to cut your fat, to have no carbs, usually there's not maybe a diet that says no protein, but you know what I mean. Every diet that tells you to cut one of the macronutrient, you should never follow it, okay? Hydration is also going to be important, but managing the craving is also one of the fundamentals, because you could be having a perfect diet throughout the whole day. If, let's say, at night and evening, you're snacking all the time, you're having tons of craving, and you are way over your calorie limit, you're eating so much more calories, then you're never going to be able to get into that deficit to actually lose weight. But by improving the quality of your nutrition, by having the right macronutrient, and with actually having an optimal nutrition, usually the cravings do go away pretty easily. But we also have to work on the triggers and the cause of the cravings to make sure that they don't get in the way of your weight loss. When we're talking about exercise, your workout prescription is going to be really important depending on your workout goal, but also all of the energy that you are expending. And we want to make sure that we're over 500, or we could even go to 1,000 calorie burn over your basal metabolism to make sure that you are losing weight quickly. There's a couple of ways we can do that. We can do that with exercises, but we can also do that with your metabolism, which we're actually going to see a little bit later. Energy is also part of my fundamentals, because it's pretty simple. If you don't have any energy, it's going to be so hard to do your workout. It's going to be so hard to motivate yourself to keep your schedule and to be consistent. So energy is a big part of also your weight loss and health and fitness journey. So sleep is really going to be important to improve your sleep. We're going to have some energy boosting strategy, but also making sure you recover properly. So in between your workout, you want to make sure you have an optimal recovery to make sure you're starting out your workout and you have tons of energy. You're able to perform at your best and to burn as many calories as you can. Mindset is also one of my fundamental. Mindset is not something that will make you burn calories, but this is something that will make you more consistent. This is the difference between short-term result and long-term result. Someone who doesn't work on their mindset will usually have short-term result, but usually they will start gaining the weight back on. They will go back into their bad pattern, into the vicious circle, if they haven't worked on the mindset. So this is really important to work on as well. Like I said, with nutrition, micronutrients are so important. I put it on the other page because they are not as important as those fundamentals. So when I was talking into the 80-20, the micronutrient is not part of, let's say, like the 20%. This is kind of like, if you want to have, like, that's why I put it there, like bonus. So if you want to have even more result, you have had every one of those fundamental, you have done it all, they're all checked, they're optimal, then you can get into those bonus. So optimal sport nutrition, making sure you're fueling your body for pre-workout, during the workout, after the workout, making sure you have everything right. Heart rate prescription, so making sure you have the right intensity for your heart rate, capacity, programmation, having a specific training depending on the workout goal. And like I said a little bit earlier, it's about metabolism as well, okay? So unfortunately, if you have done tons of diets in the past, or even just with age, unfortunately, we have a tendency to actually have a lower metabolism. So with age, the metabolism slows down and it makes it harder to actually lose weight. So what we need to do, if that's your issue, I would say metabolism is not part of the bonus. It's actually part of one of the fundamentals, because your metabolism is actually what gets in the way of your weight loss. We need to do a hormonal reset. So we need to work on specific hormones that are boosting your metabolism. So we're talking about thyroid, we're talking about GH, we're talking about different routines, action, different hormones that we can use to boost your metabolism. And what it's going to do is that maybe instead of burning 1,400 calories every day, you might be burning actually 1,500 or 1,600. You're going to be burning more calories daily, which will make it easier to be in a calorie deficit, okay? So metabolism might be really important for you. when we're talking about supplementation, my advice for supplementation is it should never replace your meals. It should never be the first thing you're doing, like stopping breakfast and just having a shake. It's not your first point of focus, but it is definitely helpful to reach your macronutrient, the calories, depending on where you are at inside of your nutrition. So I hope it helped. I hope you get a better idea of what are really the fundamental of weight loss, what you should be focusing on, and what you should actually not really spend more time on. If you have any question on it, if you're not sure what you should be focusing on for your specific goals, you can just message me or comment down below, and I'll be really happy to help you out. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.